The redesigned cityofOrlando.net is a new way to experience your city government. Say goodbye to your desk and get your info in your space on your time. And now you can explore parks, public art, learn about events, transportation options, and community centers right from your mobile device. Your connection, your Orlando. The new cityofOrlando.net, your official home of the City Beautiful.
I want to personally invite you and your family to attend Kids Fringe at the Orlando Fringe Festival. Kids Fringe is a special part of the Orlando Fringe Festival just for kids and families. Located in the beautiful sculpture gardens of the Manello Museum of American Art, kids and families can watch theatrical and musical performances.
Please welcome our mayor, Buddy Dyer.
Okay, let's try that again. We will call this meeting to order. And we'll begin the proceeding with the invocation offered by our very own Reggie McGill, Director of Constituent Services. After the invocation, I'd ask Commissioner Lynham to lead us in the pledge, and this is going to be your last meeting. If we could all stand.
It is in the spirit of gratitude that we give thanks for this day that we've never seen before, but it does give us an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others. In that same spirit, we want to thank you for all of the veterans, those who have passed away and those who are still alive, for what they have done. For those persons who are currently in the armed services, we thank you for their contributions and their commitment. As we talk about public service, we want to also thank thee for all of the elected and appointed officials across this land, but particularly here in the city of Orlando. We pray for our mayor and our commissioners, every staff person who makes up the city family. We thank you for each one of their, as it relates to their contributions that they make. We pray that this meeting will be productive and make a positive difference as we move forward. All these and many other blessings are asked in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to call this meeting of the CRA to order. If I inadvertently said council meeting, I meant to say CRA meeting. So we are convening as the CRA. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz? Here. Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Here.
Commissioner Lynham?
Here.
Commissioner Ings?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, we only have one item of business today. Commissioner Lynham requested that we have this special city council meeting so that we can start the process of partnering with Orange County Public Schools as they move towards creating a K-8 school in Paramore. It's an issue that has been of significance to Commissioner Lynham, and I thought it would be appropriate that she have an opportunity to at least voice her support for the issue as we start to move it forward. But what I'd like to do before I do that is have Thomas just describe the item for us.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, Mayor and members of this board, commissioners. Our lone item today, as the Mayor said, is conveyance. Seeks your approval for conveyance of property of the CRA to the city. As you're aware, the CRA redevelopment area plan notes the importance of educational facilities in general to the health of communities. It makes particular reference to the importance of educational institutions or facilities within the CRA redevelopment area. Plan also states the CRA's desire to cultivate the development of educational assets within that area. For these reasons, the plan contemplates and allows for the CRA's dedication of assets within the area and funding towards educational purposes and institutions within the area. Further, Section 163.400 Florida statutes also encourages cooperation between public bodies for the purpose of carrying out redevelopment. Pursuant to such section, the CRA, via a quitclaim deed, seeks to convey property to the city to be used solely for public school and school-related uses in the fulfillment of the above stated goals. This quitclaim deed would include a 50-year deed restriction with a reverter clause, which would, of course, revert ownership of the property back to the CRA if not used within the covenants of the restriction. The area in question is approximately 3.8 acres, formerly known as Federal Otay, and more recently as the Callahan Square area. Approval of this recommendation of approval was made by the CRA Advisory Board, and staff today, of course, is seeking approval of the conveyance of the property to the city via the deed, subject to review and approval of the city attorney's office and authorization for the execution of the deed by the chairman and the executive director.
Commissioner Lineham, you recognize for a motion and comment?
Yes, I move approval of this recommendation.
Second. Motion and second. I do have, Commissioner, do you prefer to make a statement, or I have two speaker requests?
We can have let's listen to the speakers,
Okay.
and then I'll comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have two speaker request forms, Lawana Gelzer and then Jose.
Lawana Gelzer, 7674 St. Stevenson Court, Orlando, Florida. It's a pleasure to be here before you today. My concern is, in 1971, my family moved from Cocoa, Florida, to Orlando. And I was able to go to the Holden Street Elementary School for about 3 months. And they closed it down, which is now the Lynx facility, and soon to be the proposed OPD office. From there, I was bused. We've always been on buses in the Paramore community for the last 40 years. My question to you is, why now? Why are you proposing to do a K through 8 school, which I have a problem with? Elementary is something we've been always asking for. You guys really need to look at putting 8th graders with kindergartens, 8th graders with 2 second graders. My concern is, why a K-8 school? Is it for the people in the Paramore community? I might say no. It's possible it's for anchoring or getting people to invest in the Creative Village proposal right across the street. Right now, displacement has already taken place in that community. We've lost so many homes, but right now we're losing homes for the school. We have a housing shortage in the Paramore community. So when someone is forced to move out, they don't get to remain in that community. So I plead with you again to keep the promises that you made to the community over the years for affordable housing. I know we've had economic problems, but the bottom line is, put housing and education first. You won't see me here as much. Putting the soccer stadium first, I have a problem. Recently, the Nat Ford School was something that we was giving in place of I told them my phone was in there. I apologize. Nat Ford Charter School was something that we was given in place of a community school. But I want to talk about the bill of sales. It's not market value, $10. Will this affect the community? Will it affect my property value? You're saying it's a fair market value of $10, a quick deed. I have a problem. But let's look at the history of Otis Place and the problems that we've had. When you purchased Otis Place, there was homes there. I used to play with a lot of those individuals. You gathered that land for $1.2 million. You turned around and gave it to, or the developer, PS Construction. I have been on your website to see what happened to that. Because you got a new website, a lot of the links are missing. We lost $800,000, and when I say we, the city of Orlando, lost $800,000 on that deal. It never came to be. So you was proposing to build $350,000 homes. That's what the price of those homes were going to be. This article came out in 2008. Yes, I keep a lot of things. But we've all said this over and over again, that we wanted a community school. But my question to you is, why now? Why the other downtown? You've had this information for quite some time. Back to, this article is so old. November 30th, 1997, the Orlando Sentinel featured this. We have been waiting for so long for a school, but not a K through 8, a community school, elementary school, an anchor school. Why now? And why that type of school? And why are we being displaced to get a school? So my concerns to you in closing is, if you have to go through all of these means, displacement, we got to have a K through 8 school. You've given Nat Ford School so many dollars of our tax dollars, it's unbelievable. Last summer I spoke against the $150,000 that the CRA was going to give for the portables. You voted on it, you gave it to it, the school. So in closing, we have been waiting patiently, because we all know when you have a school in the community, people will invest in the community. But is it for the people who've stayed there and persevered through so much over these 40 years, or is for the proposed individuals who might come? So if it's for us both, we should be a part of the planning process, and it should not cost us that much money, and it should not drive the market value. And in closing, I'm so sorry, this is the contaminated map that we use the data from. And you can see Creative Village has already applied for a $200,000 brownfield grant. Right across the street is the proposed. I have been going to all the brownfield meetings since December. You have yet to test any of the residential community. Nowhere have you tested, and we have went before them and gave them a list. Please test where the residents live, and especially in this community. But we should not have to wait any longer before the soccer stadium, before the Davis Armory, before anybody else get tested. Test the community so we'll know if that land is contaminated and if the rest of the land is contaminated. Thank you.
All right, Jose.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor and council members today. My name is Jose Datil, and I live in 712 West Anderson Street. I come here today to talk about the school, but I first wanted to thank you for this. Okay, this is a proclamation that I got when I opened the Paramore Construction Group, which is a company that is going to develop housing and is going to do construction in the area. My concern is that we're busing children in certain areas, that we shouldn't be doing that because that's bad for the children. I mean, pretty much I see those children every single day from my home, and they're being bused to other schools. And when they come back, some of them come back crying. And I see that every day. So it's not a matter here of who's wrong or right, or who leaves or who stays. You know, your most resourceable that you have in the community is children, because that's what you invest on. You know, you have to go back to what we're going through now. We had a shooting on a church. Some guy was dead, and some guy went and shoot the church there. So, you know, we have a problem that you guys have worked on pretty good, and with the ISIS system, you have solved a lot. But we still have an ongoing war between drug dealers between Polk Street and Jackson Street that I have to deal with every single day. That I know that Mr. Dyer here is doing a good job. But the school is so essential to do because it creates a sense of kids not going, from school to school to school. And if we can bring the schools here, then we can create housing, and then the impact fees can help the district. It all falls together to a pattern that have to deal pretty much with logistics, and I'm pretty sure that you guys do that every single day here, and so doing the school is very essential. And the lab for school is great too, because I know the children, I see them every day. So we need to mix all that, where we really get into certain areas in Paramore that are being left behind, like Anderson Street, Pearl Street, and certain areas that I'm pretty sure Commissioner here has done a great job of trying to solve that situation. But the economy is bad, so that kind of gets out of control. The blueprint it's been very good to alleviate that, but there's a consensus within the construction community that a lot of construction people do not like the blueprint, because some of the guys that come, they don't come trained for certain positions that are available on the venues. So if we can put a training center for the blueprint, and that will be my next step to recommend that to the board. But I'm all for the school because I think that if we both children, we've been doing that since 1970 something, and I'm pretty sure Commissioner here tried to get that solved, but now is the time to build Paramore, now is the time to build schools, and now is time to take care of the children, because the children are immersed in a world of poverty. Immersed, and poverty is the worst enemy that we're fighting right now. Forget about politics, forget about all of that. I mean, these kids, they don't even have money to buy candy. The other day I was in the store, and these kids, they begged me, so I spent like $20 with all the kids. And for the first time, I saw what I was doing in Paramore, which I'm not even from Paramore, I'm from Puerto Rico, and I've been 15 years in Paramore because I love my people. So I love all of you. I see you guys every day. But now we're dealing with children now, and that's the heart of God. And if we want our blessings, we need to invest. So if the CIA funds wants to take some land that is doing there nothing right now, because Creative Village is in their modem to develop, and if we can put a school there that children can walk to, then that will push developers from the area to do housing, and those impact fees, we can do something with that. So I applaud you all for the school, and in terms of me, as a businessman in the community, I think that you should put 2 schools, not only one. You should put elementary school and a middle school, because it's all about these kids that they need help. That's what I think. And you guys have a nice day.
Thank you, Jose. Commissioner Lynham.
Sorry, I don't know what the hell he just said, but...
Well, you're not here anymore, right? You lost your election.
No.
Maybe you understand that.
I didn't lose an election. I'm retiring, Jose. But, Mayor, for 16 years, I've heard the profound ignorance of people coming to talk about education. Education is important. When we started the Knapford Charter School, that school became a charter school because Orange County Public Schools could not move forward with the school that Katie Adams, long-term school board member, and Knapford, long-term city council member, wanted in Paramore because of the desegregation order. But as an incoming commissioner, I did what I believe was the best in terms of establishing a charter school. And it has been a great opportunity in Paramore. And we have seen a turnaround with a sense of community. We have seen that a school is essential. Paramore has had 2 schools for almost 89 years. Jones High School at Callahan. We've had Holden Heights Elementary School. And this is one of the best things that we can do. But we're not here to talk about the school board issues. People want to talk about school board issues, ought to go to a school board meeting and not to city council. This is an opportunity that we have to do the right thing for a community that has been dying because of a lack of community. Our kids didn't go to 8 schools, we went to 11. because there were certain schools that had certain programs to benefit them. This is right for this city council meeting. It is something on my first day on the job in 1998 we initiated. I'm very thankful to Mayor Hood and that city council that we were able to get the money. Mayor, I can assure you that property is not Otis Place. It is Federal Otay Place. And it was the original site for the school. This is nothing new. But we learned that later we could maybe develop housing there. We still have a great opportunity in Paramore for infill housing around the school. So I asked the council to join me to do the right thing. Now, I realize that forward thinking is sometimes a real hard commodity. And I assure you that if we do the right thing here, we've heard this stuff about brownfield. Anybody want to test their property, they ought to go hire an engineer. It's not the city's business to test my property or anybody else's. But we can test your own property, hire your engineer, do what you got to do, then look to the history of it. To my knowledge, there's not been a gas station there. There has not been cleaners. The plume that is on Robinson Street flows east. It is 200 feet under the earth, pretty much. So I think we're in good standing to transfer this property from CRA to the city. It is a great thing and a step moving forward to bringing those kids home that are there, bringing new families into Paramore. It is a great thing that this city council will do today. I thank you so much for this special council meeting. This is about the 5th one I've had in 16 years, so it is not unusual. So thank you, and thank you, council members, for doing the right thing. Every community that wants a school and can have one, when the school district is willing to do that, that's what we try to accommodate. They've given us property, gave me property for the Rock Lake park. We didn't buy it. I asked for it, and they gave it to us, and it benefited the Rock Lake Elementary School kids. It benefited the Rock Lake community. So now we're at a crossroads, and this is a good move, and I appreciate all of your support on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Further comment, Commissioner Stewart.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm sorry, I've got several questions, and they really don't have a lot to do exactly with this. It has to do with some of the things that we've been struggling with for a while. And I'm reluctantly kind of supporting this because I think the overarching theme is to make sure that we have a school in Paramore. I'm concerned about a couple of things. I'm concerned that there's, in the midst of a discussion of KH throughout the entire Central Florida area, I haven't seen, nor I don't know that we expect to see one, but I haven't seen a plan with all these lined out. I've been in the midst of this past weekend kind of searching on their website to find out where they have given approval for this funding. I can't find that, although I do find that Barbara Jenkins and Bill Sublett both have said this is where they want it to go, and I think that they mean that, in their own defense. There's discussion about what size a K through 8 needs to be. I've been told it needs to be 14 acres, and now here we have 3.8 acres that may be available to us. And just a whole lot of things that are coming to us in a way that I'm such a process kind of person. I'd like to kind of see the whole thing in front of us before we move forward, and I just don't feel as comfortable with this as I would like to be with where is the K-8, where's it going to go, what's going to be its zone, who's going to actually attend there, how's it going to impact Knapp Ford. We've got hundreds of thousands of dollars we've invested in there. How's it going to impact the schools that are being bussed out? How's it going to impact Lee? How's it going to impact Fern Creek?
I think I can answer some of those, Commissioner, but let me just say this is just a very preliminary step. All we're doing is giving the city the ability to control the negotiations with the school district. I don't think the school district has quite all of those answers yet. They want to do a K-8. They'll have to reduce boundary lines at some point, and I think to Commissioner Sheehan's point, when they do that, we hope that they would preserve and and protect Fern Creek and allow it to remain a viable school. They have been highly successful at Boone or at Blankner with a K-8. There are people that want to take their kids to that school because of the success there, and I believe in the K-8 model is a good one. But that's really school district decisions that they'll come back and negotiate and brief us on. I usually don't respond to one of the speakers' questions, but I will say answer the why now, and Commissioner Lineham actually answered it. We've been under a DSAG order in Orange County for 30, 40 years, some odd years, that was just lifted a year ago, I guess, 2 years ago. So that finally gives us the ability to work with a school district to bring a school back to Paramore. And I look at some great opportunities for this synergy. We're in ongoing study and discussion with Valencia and UCF for being a partner at Creative Village. So think about having a K-8, Valencia, and UCF all there together, like out in Lake Nona, what they have been able to do with Lake Nona High School and Valencia campus. I think there can be some great synergy related to that. So I think what I'm saying, Commissioner, is there's a lot more detail to come.
Absolutely.
And this, you're going to see this back before council several times, and we're not conveying the land to the school district till they have a full plan.
Well, and I guess the other question is that,
The other question, the other one I wanted to answer, the school district is acquiring other land other than just ours.
Yes.
okay, and I guess,
We probably
you know,
just drove the price up a little bit today.
Yes.
Well, and that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at this not because we don't need a school. I think we've needed that for a long time, and I agree with that. I'm looking at this in terms of, is this the best choice for that? And that's where I'm struggling, and I've been caught in 3 or 4 of the negotiations with Orange County Schools, and has not benefited people in my district in a sense. I've been caught at the area with the Audubon Park Elementary, which now has 29 or 27 portables on that property, which we believe is a violation of the covenants of the land that we've given to them. And so now all of a sudden, we negotiate the fact that they're going to remodel Audubon Park Elementary School, and then the next thing you know, they announce it's going to be a K-8. I'm not happy with that because there's been no discussion with us about a violation of the intent of the MOU that we all agreed to. They've not even come to us and said, oh, by the way, we think we may make a change to this MOU, and ask permission to do that, which they're required to by contract. And so all those are kind of lumped up in this, and if this gives the city the control of this, I'm kind of okay with it. But it gives the city the control as a restricted school use only. And so now all of a sudden, if there's another location, can we go sell this property to move someplace else? The answer is I don't quite know, because I don't know all the details here.
Well,
So that's
the
what I'm
answer
caught
to
up
that
in.
one is it would simply revert to the CRA, and we're the CRA.
Well, it would revert to CRA, I guess. I'm looking at actually the terms, and it looks like within 30-day notice, and there has to be a remedy. I know we're kind of doing stuff within ourselves. I understand that. I'm just a little bit uncomfortable because I just don't know the whole plan, and I would like to see the whole plan out in front of us to make sure that we are the city, and the city citizens, and especially the citizens of Paramore, are properly protected so that we're getting the best opportunity to serve our community and not part of it. So I'm going to reluctantly support it because I think the right thing is having a school in Paramore, but I just don't like this process has concerned me because I've not had a high level of confidence in any kind of process that I've dealt with Orange County Schools over the course of the past 8 years.
Well, I think this puts us in the best possible position with them because we are providing some of the land for the school. It puts us at the table in discussions with them over the school.
I agree with your analysis, but that we had exactly the same analysis at Baldwin, and now they have 27 portables. They have more children in portables than they do in their building. That's not a good thing for the citizens that we have to protect that go to that school. So,
don't disagree with that,
no,
but we can still be a good partner. Commissioner Ings and Commissioner Sheehan, then back to Commissioner Lynham.
Mayor, I don't know if you want to just add or kind of remind council in terms of that process. And as I indicated to those I've met with, that this is a process, and we're in discussions and negotiations, and there will be an agreement. The agreement that gets into some of the details about the site is what we're working on, and sometime in July is when we'll have those fine details coming. So, as the Mayor's mentioned today, is simply moving from one hat under the purview of City Council, from CRA to the city, and all the comments that you all have shared. We certainly are have heard those, and that's will be part of our future discussions as well.
Commissioner Ings.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say this is an excellent time for development and for building of the K-8 school in the Paramore area and district. And this is good for the CRA to turn it back over into the hands of the City of Orlando, so the City of Orlando can work as a partner with the Orange County Public Schools. And I think Chairman Bill Sublette and Orange County Public Schools Superintendent Barbara Jenkins are at the helm of this, and they are excited about this as well. I did have an opportunity to speak with them both after the State of Orange County Public Schools address by the chair and the superintendent, and just to see the vision that they had, I mean, was just outstanding. And it's really good that we, the City of Orlando, has taken this opportunity to really work closely with the school board and all that they're having to do within the county. And I just want to say that they're doing a great job, and this would be a fantastic area of development for that northern end of Paramore. And I've also talked to them about the southern end of Paramore, too, like in the Grand Avenue area, so that we can have some conversation there. But first things first, and I think this is a great move on our behalf, and so many progressive things are happening within the City of Orlando, and if we can just continue this type of momentum, we're going to do a lot other great things for our city. So I'm really behind this and support this, and this is a perfect opportunity for us to get it done.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sheehan.
I'm in a very difficult situation because the school that is slated to close, of course, is the school in my community, and the difficulty that I find myself in is that while I have supported the children that have come over from Paramore and Callahan and the homeless shelter to come to Fern Creek Elementary School and been very involved in Fern Creek Elementary School to make sure they have the after-school programs, the computer labs, the things that they've needed to thrive. In addition, swimming lessons. We've done so much at that school to help kids. And then the first thing the school board superintendent tells me is, well, you're in a chopping block because the people from the surrounding neighborhoods that you live in, Baldwin Park and Orin Manor, will not send their children to Fern Creek because of the kids that have been going there. And I just think that's awful. I have a passion for helping children. I always have, because I grew up in poverty. And poverty, a lot of people don't know, my father drank a lot, and we had a lot of problems in my family, and education was my only ticket out of poverty. So I feel very strongly about these kids. I always have. And not to say that they wouldn't be better served going to school in their own neighborhood. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that my community shouldn't have to suffer because we've welcomed the children for 30 years, and we shouldn't be told that we're not worthy of a school. I think that's really, really wrong. And it is because of the K-8 model that that my school is being displaced. And while I think what happened to the children of Paramore and being bussed out as a punishment for wanting their children to have opportunity by the desegregation order, I think that the very school that welcomed them the most is the one that's being punished the most, and I think that's really wrong. I too share Commissioner Stewart's concern about the K-8s and how it's going to impact who's going to go where and where the line's going to be drawn. And I haven't gotten an answer out of the school board, and I'm distressed by that. And I don't think it's, again, as someone who supported education, as someone who supported the sales tax and all of that, I've supported this. So I have some real concerns. I can't say that, okay, well, we're going to pay for the social ills of the past by punishing the very people who welcomed the children and supported them for all these years. I think that's really wrong. So I have to vote no because of the impact it could possibly have on Fern Creek and Pershing and Cayley and other schools in the southern portion of my district that I can't get a straight answer out of the school board on. And again, I do believe that schools are the anchor in the community. I think what happened to Paramore was wrong. But I don't think we have to keep doing things at the expense of one another. I think we should be working for solutions that everybody can win, not that somebody always has to lose. And I think there's a way to do that in a very collegial way without having to say, that we have to close the school in someone else's neighborhood in order to accommodate another neighborhood. I just think that's wrong, especially since Commissioner Stewart's got 27 portables at Audubon Park, and I've got 150 empty slots at Fern Creek. What sense does that make? It doesn't make sense. But there's just some very wrong attitudes that's created this situation. I think it could all be worked out, and I want it worked out before we convey land, because I frankly don't think the school board, if they're not willing to take our input now, I frankly don't think they're going to take our input later. So that's why I'm voting no today, Commissioner Lynham. I support a school in Paramore. I just don't think we should be pitting one community against another. Thank you.
Commissioner Lynham to close.
Mayor, this sounds like Congress, who's never grown up, fighting a fight of voter suppression, school integration, desegregation. I hate to have my last council meeting fighting something that you thought you'd won. The most important thing in a community is its school and its churches and its children. I have worked every job I've ever had. I don't have to prove it anywhere. My resume speaks for itself. I was a teacher, I was a social worker, and here I am bringing all that and have brought that to this council for the past 16 years. I have never interfered with any other council district on what they wanted. That was best for their district, and as long as it did not hurt the common good of the city. And to have this discussion about keeping a school open and make little black children be bused somewhere to some community that they can't walk to, I find that the most asinine discussion I've ever had on this council, outside of there have been a few other really weird things. So to close this debate, I think there's some really disingenuous comments, and I think when we talk about the school board, you do like I've done for 16 years. I go to those meetings, I talk with my school board members, I get to know the superintendent, I try to work with them. You win some and you lose some. The charter school was a great loss to me in 1998. It is a great win for this community in 2014 if we're able to move forward with the school board. That is Dr. Jenkins, Bill Sublette, school board member Kat Gordon, and all the rest of them. I think their best intentions are there, and if we want influence there, you go to the meetings and you talk about what the real impact is for a real community. And one should never negotiate the well-being of little boys and girls having access to a school in his or her own community. It was shut down because of racial injustice for a number of years that had persisted through the years. This is now time to bring it back to the community. Some people like it, some people don't. I did not have this discussion here regarding Blakener. That was in the city. We've never had this discussion. It only comes up regarding Paramore. So that ought to give us all a clue that this debate is crazy. It is foolish, and it is time to cut this craziness and leave it in the 50s and the 60s. Mayor, I call for the vote.
I was back in my legislative days and was going to say, Commissioner Lynham having closed, All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Commissioner Ortiz.
Commissioner Ortiz was there.
You know what? Because you didn't light your button up.
Right. I didn't know he was there. Okay. Commissioner Ortiz, I didn't know you were there. Sorry.
Commissioner Ortiz.
I just want to say that I believe that we are jumping ahead of the game. This in simple transaction between CRA and city. We have just a defendant and condemned defendant without having this is just a simple transaction. Then we're going to go through a whole process to analyze the situation. So I just want to add that to all the comments that were made. And of course, I do approve and I support this.
Thank you for the clarification, Commissioner Ortiz. Okay, let's try that vote again. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
6-1, it passes. All right, that's all the business to come before the CRA today. Thomas?
It is, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, then we stand adjourned.
All right.